Which means it's time to hear what's going on in the lives of women this week in our weekly feature, It's a Woman's World. First up, according to Sunday Mail columnist Lauren Booth, Beyoncé is sexing it up a bit too much in her latest video. Let's have a look and see what you think. Wow, well, she certainly looks amazing, doesn't she? However, Lauren Booth says the most unsettling thing about this video, in her view, is that this woman, a millionairess with a huge amount of power, she says, still feels the need to get down on all fours. So, is Lauren Booth right? Is it a bad thing for women everywhere that female stars still feel the need to sex it up? What do you think, Jane?
Well, I have to agree with Lauren here, because I've watched MTV, because I've got a youngster around me a little bit now. And we put the MTV channel on because she wants to know all the charts, and she's 9 years old. And I was absolutely gobsmacked by how much sexual innuendo and how it's just like Lauren said, they're on all fours, they're gyrating up against poles, they're scantily clad. It's all very sexual. And this is kids watching MTV all day. And that, to me, is just a little bit worrying. You know, it's in the face, they're doing all the moves. It's just, no, I just don't think it's right. No. Beyoncé's good enough as a singer and a performer and an actress. Why does she have to do all that as well?
Well, do you think, you might say, OK, and we understand that it's not great for youngsters to see that, but as a woman performer, is there anything wrong with her celebrating her womanhood? I mean, I quite like the fact she's not stick-thin, got a bit of curve. She's a great, you know,
fantastic, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
But I mean, I do think that that video is really quite sexy, and I think that if it's going to be shown, it should maybe have like a certificate, like at the movies. I mean, I remember a few years ago one that was even more than that was that Call on Me one, and I think Louis was about 3, and I remember we were in Gibraltar, and I turned around and there was a double-page spread in one of the tabloids of all the girls in the Call on Me video, and he was sat with his dummy in his mouth like this, just going. You know, it's 3 years old and I've got to really be careful with that one because we've had to put blocks on everything with him.
I have to say that my husband's also got that video on his phone.
Well, so he's a dummy as well.
Well, the thing is, what annoys me is, I mean, she looks beautiful and,
she does.
You know, if I had that body, my God, I'd be like that walking to the shops.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think you're right, is that every single video of a woman seems to have to involve them somehow doing something very sexual. And then what really annoys me, when it's a man's video or a group video of men, there's still naked women dancing around them.
It's always the women that are naked,
It's always the women that are naked, but it's not a case now of them just being, you know, naked and sexy. But it's all the...
I'd still rather have the rather sexy ones. The ones that really worry me are the gangster rap ones with all the sort of gun references and stuff like that. But let me just tell you, have you seen Dame Vera Lynn's latest one? Wait and see that. That's all I'm saying.
That's hot.
That is hot.
But the funny thing is, she's still #1.
Yeah.
Of course she is. She hasn't had
without that.
Without all that, because that's just talent
look at
in
her.
itself. There you go.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
All right. Next, new research into working mothers has found that women who go on maternity leave for a long time are more likely to miss out on high-flying jobs and expect to have less respect and authority when they return to work. So, should a woman really expect to reach the top anyway if motherhood has become her focus? Should things change? I mean, I kind of guess I've just come back from maternity leave, so I know all about this. But what do you girls think? Now,
I'm going to get shot down in flames here, but as someone who has worked in an office with a load of women and they come in at 9:30 after they've dropped the kids off to school and they leave at 3:15 because they can go and do the school run. As the single one, I had to be in at 8:30 and I didn't leave till 5:30. So, and I know it's all great and it's all fantastic and it's wonderful that we all embrace mother, and I think it's marvellous that mothers want to do it all, but I don't think you can do it all. If you have a family, then your first priority should be the family.
Yeah, but then having said that, on the other side, yes, if you have a family and your family are your first priority, so these mums who are going back to work are going back to work because their family are their priority and they want to go out there and make a good living and have a nice life. And also, you know, they will... Yes, I understand what you're saying about they get to leave early and all of that, but they will work hard because they have to, because they've got a family to look after.
The single
girls
work
hard as well. But I also think, you know, they always say, oh, married women, you know, the parents are always, you know, worried about the children and blah, blah, and they leave early, and, you know, but they will be the ones that will really hang on to the job. They won't want to lose the job because they've got a family to think of. So I think it works both ways, really.
So do you think attitudes have changed? Do you think we are more lenient to mothers? Do we give them an easier ride? Do we give them a harder ride?
It's not an easy ride, though, is it? Because, you know, what they need to do is make it easier. The workplace needs to make it easier for them, so they don't have to rush off at 3 o'clock. They should have creches and stuff
But you say that, but
workplace.
then, you know, and I'm speaking as somebody who is a working mum, so I would like to think that people did give me an easier time, but I can understand people being cross about it, because if you've got elderly relatives you're taking care of, that's a responsibility. If you've got a spouse who's ill, everybody has responsibilities, and so why are we bending over for mothers? Surely, as Jane says, if someone's doing a job, they've got to do the job.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because, I mean, as I say, I've had to work twice as hard, and I know I'm in a much stronger position than a lot of people, but at the same time, my husband is an actor, and actors are very often out of work, so it's not, you know, sometimes I would much prefer to stay at home for longer periods of time. But at the same time, where I come into this hypocrisy bit is that I can understand your point that if I was an employer and there was someone who I knew was possibly going to have a baby within a year and the other person wasn't, I might be inclined to give it to that other person. So it's a bit of a grey area, I think, for me, that one. Yeah,
it's a tricky one, and you know, not everybody has the choice as well, do they?
Of course not. Well,
and you should have just lied and said you had kids. You could have knocked off at 3:30.
Damn! We should have done all along. OK, finally, Michelle Keegan, who plays feisty Tina McIntyre in Coronation Street, has been discussing the forthcoming Christmas party season and says that her perfect party look is big hair. She says it makes me feel so sexy, the bigger the better. So, ladies, is big hair sexy? And I've got to go to Jane.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Jane is big best.
Oh, I love it. In fact, the bigger the better for me. My hair has got its own credit now on the show and everything, because it gets bigger by the day. But I do love big hair. I've always like, this is my crowning glory. This is the feature that makes me feel good. So if it's looking good, it's looking shiny, it's looking big, I'm out there.
Well,
you know, it's good.
Yeah, I love it.
What can I say? What can I say? Billy Idol here in the middle. No, I mean, my sister and I have got rubbish hair. It's like baby hair, and we used to long to have the type of hair that you could just get up in the morning and go like that, because to me you can get away with hardly any makeup and everything if you've got this lovely mane of hair. But I've just had to accept.
Oh,
just have to accept.
Oh my goodness! Where did we get that?
No, who is that? Who is that?
Well, that was my attempt. That was my attempt at big hair. How embarrassing!
Yeah, but in the 80s now you could get away with it because it wasn't only big; it was permed and big.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
My husband likes my hair down, straight and flat. He hates big hair. He thinks I look younger with it.
I think men do, actually. I think men find big hair a bit scary, because I've got massive hair. Whatever I do, it's always massive. It's got its own postcode some mornings if I don't straighten it down to about size. But I like that, because I sort of feel like it's something to hide behind. But I think you're right. Men actually like something a bit more sleek and elegant.
Yes.
Never mind.
But you're still flying for it, aren't you?
I still am. Bring it on. Get me hairspray.
Here's your final